This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, pet lovers, pet friends. This is Michelle Fern, your host on Best Bets for Pets. Now, even though, we're still right at the end of 2020, still in this pandemic, a lot of us are thinking about travel. I know I am. I cannot wait to go someplace. And, wouldn't it be great to be able to take your pooch with you? Well, it can be a challenge anytime. But my guest today is part of a company that is making it seamless to travel with your pet. We're going to be right back and we're going to talk to him.
Are you listening to this right now with a cell phone clenched between your teeth as you frantically flip pages on your paper calendars? Or are you a new breed of groomer, bred for speed and efficiency of movement? 123Pet software automates your communications, doing the reminding, confirming, thanking, and marketing for you. 123Pet centralizes your schedule, employees, clients, inventory, and more. 123Pet is the business management software you need. Start minding your business today. Visit 123petsoftware.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to introduce you to Aldo Caronia. He is the Chief Pawject Officer of AlivePets.com or AlivePets. Welcome, Aldo.
Hi, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you. Now, how have you been doing with this pandemic, especially since you're part of a travel company?
Yes, it is for sure challenging for the whole industry. However, it's a very resilient industry. So we're trying in this big, long, probably too long moment of pause to react. That's the only way, that's the only things that we can actually do. So in our case, our way of reacting to this situation was by developing new ideas, new products, new tours. And AlivePets, it's one of these new great things that we hope, came out of these, disastrous situations that we're all facing, and that hopefully will end very soon.
Well, I know that I cannot wait to go someplace. And, most people these days, and we're based in the U.S., but I know all over the world, a lot of people are staying put, or they're just doing small visits to family. Most of our listeners in the U.S., but not all, mostly a little domestic travel, sometimes just by auto. But I cannot wait to go someplace, really go someplace. And I know one of the challenges whenever I travel is what to do with my fur babes, because I personally don't like the idea of kennel, but I do know there's wonderful pet hotels and that sort of thing. And you guys have come up, AlivePets came up with this really great idea of taking your dog with you on a tour, and a European tour, no less. How did that idea come about?
Well, it started by when we, as a company, we decided to take a trip, time ago, and with our own pets, and we realized that it was very difficult to do something, with the pets, and if we wanted to go into a museum, for example, someone had to stay out with the dogs, and only two of us could go inside. So it was just challenging to do activities and to do things with the pets. And so when we came back, we decided that we wanted to change that, and we wanted to create a tour that was basically going to make this whole process and this whole experience of traveling more seamless. Easier to do. And we realized that there was definitely a lack of operator and to do dog-friendly tours. There are some in the US, but there are none. They're actually offering tours to Europe. And so for us, what a great opportunity to just start this new adventure. And this is why we came up with AlivePet. It was about a year
I think it's a great idea because these days, I mean, we're pet parents, we're not just pet owners, and they're like our babies, our grandkids. They're not just, a dog or a cat, which is what most of us have, either one or the other or both. And dogs are usually pretty good travelers, and it makes sense if it's your, dog's best friend, your best friend, why not take him or her with you?
Absolutely.
I also, and you commented on this, I do know that there can be challenges, airline, and then hotel, and then go finding what places are dog friendly, not dog friendly. So it becomes so much of a challenge at times that people just are, I'm not even going to deal with it. But you, in developing your tours, have, when you went through the whole experience personally, have found ways to make this very seamless.
Absolutely. So we did all the research and the work for you. I mean, for the person that wants to travel with the pet. So we experienced firsthand the properties where we're going to stay, the services, the tour escort. I mean, pretty much everything. So this is what we created. It's something that was designed with the pet in mind and the pet owner in mind. We faced all the challenges and we tried to overcome them because we experienced them firsthand.
Okay, so to give everybody listening an idea, what is it like? Because some people hearing this are probably like, okay, is it just like me taking my dog to Europe? Or what is it actually like to go on one of your tours with your dog?
Well, it is. We're trying to make everything very smooth and simple. So we basically created a package for a small group tour up to only 14 people, where we have fun activities that the pet and the pet owners will enjoy. So we have like a cooking class where the pet owners will learn how to make gourmet food for your pet, for example. That's one of the fun activities. So we have a pet photo shoot. So you can share the memories with a professional photographer that will take picture of you. So all these experiences are going to be included in this tour and are going to make much easier for you and more enjoyable for you or dog parent to go and enjoy a vacation where everything was thought about. So the hotels that we use, for example, will have a quite large outdoor, so where the dogs can run very easily. They're all dog friendly. Even the bus has a decent size. So, there's definitely a lot, of room. We created an itinerary where the rides are relatively short, so you don't stay a long time in the bus of going from one place to another. So all these things were taken into consideration when we designed the itinerary. We have a dog kennel, for example, that we will give to each traveler, and they can use that also during the transportations. We have gourmet food, so all the food for the pets will be taken care of. We're in touch with a professional pet chef, actually based in Milan, that will prepare gourmet fresh food label with the name of the dog on it, and so the dog will have lunch and dinner already prepared with whatever recipe or whatever menu that the pet parents decides to choose. So all these little details are included, and they will make the itinerary much more smooth and enjoyable.
Okay, and then we'll get to some specifics about the tour. So basically, I mean, it sounds like, not only are you going on this lovely tour, but your pet is being treated and kind of pampered on this tour too, It's not just that your taste buds will get tantalized by this delicious food in Europe, your dog will too. I mean, not all of us have fresh chef prepared food for our pooches on a regular basis, but wow, that's really nice. And what about the different locations that you're going into? So what you're seeing on the trips, that's all dog friendly too. And of course, obviously the hotels and restaurants, everything is already checked out by you, right? So that no worries on the person traveling.
No, there's no worries on that sense. We decided to go and to stay more in the outskirts of big cities. This is why the itinerary that we have right now, starting in next year, will stay in Tuscany, so in the countryside, and also in the outskirts of Rome. So we're not going to stay in the busy city center. We decided to stay in the outside, more open air, where dogs have definitely more room, where everything will be much easier, even to go in and out instead of dealing with traffic. So these are also decisions that we made in order to make this dog-friendly tour easier and more enjoyable.
I think that's a nice idea because you can always go to the cities, finding the right places outside the cities sometimes is a little more challenging. Okay, we're going to take a short break and be right back. And I have a few more questions that I think the traveling pet parent might need to know. We'll be right back.
So now I've got this pack of 4 Shar-Pei rescue dogs for, oh my goodness, probably 5-6 years. They get a regular diet of Dinovite with every meal.
DINOVITE.com.
People remark on what beautiful coats they've got. I tell them, you don't need to wait until a problem presents itself. It's far better to keep the dog happy and healthy at all times.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
Help your dog from the inside out with Caniotic Daily Probiotic for Dogs. Caniotic's superior and exclusive technology makes it the only dog probiotic from the dog for the dog. Your dog's gastrointestinal tract is important to their well-being, and a daily dose of Caniotic is one easy way you can support it. Caniotic, CANIOTIC, is available on Chewy.com. Add it to your cart today and give it a try.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Best Bets for Pets. And we're talking with Aldo from AlivePets.com. And we're talking about his pet-friendly tours that he has. And so, Aldo, the tours sound great, but, right now, everybody, we're in a pandemic. And I'm sure what's on a lot of people's minds, more so this year than any other time, although there's germs all the time, every place, everywhere, is what about COVID? What are you doing on your tours to be safe with COVID-19? And I know your tours don't start till next year, like mid-year 2021?
In September 21.
Okay, so almost like a year from now. And what have you done in preparation for COVID-19? Because it's still going to be on their minds, how can I be careful? Is this safe? And so forth.
Yes, I mean, it is inevitable that people are going to be concerned about COVID-19, even if at some point, hopefully, this will be under control, but it was still going to be there. So we understand that challenge, and we wanted to address that challenge very specifically. So we decided to have, first of all, a very low number of people, of participants, so it's 14 people. Our bus, for example, have 3 times more seats than the number of the participants. So we will guarantee, if really needed, secure social distancing, even on the bus. Buses will be constantly disinfected during the trip. The hotels, like I said, are located in the countryside. So there's definitely areas where there's less concentrations of people, and they feature very large parks and common areas. So we picked them also for that purpose. The hotels are going to follow very strict guidelines that are actually imposed by the Italian government. And so they're going to be clean and sanitized, of course, daily in all rooms and public areas. All the air conditioning units, we know for a fact that they have very specific air filter that now are mandatory, and they will receive, regular treatment. All the employees also, they have to follow specific guidelines, and they've received new trainings about new protocols that are now in place in order to fight the, COVID-19. And this also includes the interactions with the guests and some welcome procedures. Every contractors that we have or third party will be also asked to follow the same procedures. Restaurants that are included will also guarantee the social distancing. Our group will stay in specific areas that are reserved. We're not going to visit any museums. It is going to be it was going to be too complicated, and we didn't know exactly how the regulations are going to be. So for now, we don't have any museums. We have a Colosseum visit inside in the Roman forums where, but these are open areas. So those two sites that are included, they're open areas, so they're going to be pretty safe. And ultimately, we're just following the World Trade Tourism Council protocols that they established at the beginning, or actually during this pandemic. And so we're just following all those guidelines, which was, very strict and at the same time, reasonable in order to make tours safe and enjoyable.
Well, it sounds like you're doing everything possible that you can. So I think that's fabulous. And it seems like it's already proving very popular, because I looked at your site and several of the tours are already sold out.
Yes, we had an excellent response. A phenomenal response. The tours that are actually on the site right now and that are sold out are actually tours that have been sold to the European market. And because we didn't know when, some restrictions were going to be lifted in order to travel to Europe, so we decided to do our tours to the and sell them to the European market. And so those are, we received a great response. It was an instant, success. And so those are, thank God, already sold out. And we have great interest also for other programs that we're going to develop in other destinations in Europe, like south of France or Sicily and Spain.
It sounds wonderful. And I traveled last year through Europe, mostly Italy, and can't wait to go back. I can't wait for this pandemic to slowly dissolve out, vaccinations and all of that. All right, let's talk about the dog.
It will.
You have a limit on dog sizes. Tell us about that. And what about, are there any limits on breed?
So no, there are no limits as far as the breed. So, any dog is definitely welcome in the tour. We had to put a limit on the size and the weight of the dog in order to simplify, some process related to the flight. So the limit is 10 kilos or 22 pounds, and that will allow people to bring the dog in the cabin. We thought that it was going to be a little bit more complicated for now to allow any size of dogs. So this is really basically the only restrictions that we have in order to participate in one of our tours. We will work as much as we can. And of course, in order to allow every dog size on the tour in the future, right now, because of this whole situation, also some restrictions that airline are putting on traveling with pets, we had to just put these limitations on the size of the dog.
You know what? I think the size is, that's fine. If you have a dog 40, 50, 60 pounds, they're not going to be very comfortable traveling unless it's a dog that, is a therapy dog or so forth. And that would be a whole different discussion. So we're not talking about that. But once your dog is so big, it's not comfortable for them to fly. So I think that's fine.
Yes.
What about...
That's one reason. Another reason was also some of the logistics that we have to face while traveling. So having a lot of big dogs basically was going to put us in. Also, we had to face other different challenges as far as the logistics and the transportations. So we just felt that it was going to be easier to put that restrictions for now.
What about dogs that, if they're, dogs don't get along, or, how are they going to be separated during the trip? Are they just going to be in the bus? You're holding your dog or on a leash or a guide, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, dogs that were not getting along was actually a topic of that we discussed extensively, how we're going to face that situation. And we talked with several expert dog trainers, and they gave us great input. So basically, if it happens, it's inevitable. It is possible. It's not inevitable. It is possible. And we will face the situations the best we can. In order to avoid that, another things that we're asking to have a letter of recommendations from a trainer, okay, so that we know it is not only, for us, it's just for the well-being of the whole group, that that those dogs have been trained by professional persons. They went through some kind of training. And we will also ask one of the thousands of videos that parents, owners have on their cell phone. So, show me the dog that is interacting with the public or is with other dogs and he has no problems. And again, we're doing this just to, protect, the well-being of every passenger while they're traveling. So, that there is some kind of filters there that we put in order to have dogs that are well behaved. Because if we allow a dog that has never been trained, is not well behaved at all, then it's just going to ruin the experience for everybody else. So we had to put those little restrictions.
Do you anticipate that you're going to have, say, if someone's, thinking about this and this sounds great, whatever, and then they think, but my dog is quiet, but what if I'm on the bus and there's like 4 dogs barking their heads off? I know that you can have dogs that are trained, but they could still start barking like crazy. What if that happens?
Well, it is also part of the life when you own a dog, right? I mean, we love our dogs because of that as well.
Yep, you're a pet parent, deal with it.
You're a pet parent.
Yeah.
Deal with that, of course. So it is possible. I mean, it is possible. We'll do all we can, to make the dog, comfortable and happy. Again, like I said earlier, we are going to have short rides, on the bus when we go and visit places, and, we'll visit wineries. We do a lot of, very fun activities, but we try to keep those rides really short. We included several stops. So we think that the dogs will not be impacted that much by the transportation or being in a bus. We also have these, dog kennel that we will provide and we will give as a gift to every passenger, so they can keep the dog into the kennel while they travel on the bus, just on the seats next to them. So it is possible. We think that because of the precautions that we took and the way we designed the itinerary, it should be fairly safe to say that this may not happen.
Okay, and then something I'm sure every pet parent thinks about: what if your dog becomes sick?
Yeah. So, and again, that was another, great topics that came out when we talked with a lot of pet owners when we decided to do these trips. I mean, we had the feedback from a lot of different people. So we teamed up with a veterinarian that is actually based in Rome, but he has a very strong networks of offices throughout Italy. And so we're going to have access basically 24/7 to an expert veterinarian that speaks English if something would happen to the dog while traveling. So, hopefully, everything is fine, but you have to always plan for the worst and hope for the best. So we have that in place. And so if the dogs will get sick, they will have immediate medical attention from a professional veterinarian.
Oh, that's perfect. What kind of dog do you have, Aldo?
It's the Doodle.
Oh, something,
and,
Labradoodle?
Labradoodle. It was coming out in Labrador in Italian for me for a moment. So
that's okay.
It's a Labrador.
Where are you from?
It's a Labradoodle. I'm from Venice.
Venice. Okay, because I know, obviously, I detected a lovely accent, and I was actually in Venice last year. I love Italy. I love your country. Beautiful, wonderful people. It was wonderful. And I'm glad I went last year because look at this year. But I definitely hope to go back. Well, I think that this idea for taking your pets on a tour is wonderful, especially, for those that are so close with their pet fur babes and they can't see leaving them at home and they don't have to deal with, the separation, and it's just so seamless. It just makes it so easy. How can people find out more?
Well, we put all the information that we possibly can on the website. So it's AlivePets.com. People are more than welcome, of course, to contact us via any social media or via email or via phone. So all the information is on the website AlivePets.com.
Okay, wonderful. Wow, what an interesting idea, right? I mean, to take your pet with you on a tour in Europe and to tour the, Italian countryside. Sign me up. Wonderful. Well, if I went, it would be taking little Nicky, my yapper, and I'd have to teach him how to be quiet, probably. But I think it's a great opportunity. So again, thanks to my guest Aldo for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling us all about it. Thanks to Nikki and my cat crew, which is Charlotte, Molly, and Dennis, and Sammy, and Jethro, and Jazz for, being lovely cats, even though I couldn't take you on a trip to Europe. But anyway, and thanks to everybody listening. We have so many great things coming up on Best Bets for Pets. We are 10 years strong, and wow, there's been some amazing products and ideas on Best Bets for Pets over the years. Incredible. So check out some of the older shows. You wouldn't believe some of the shows I've had on. There's been some strange ones. In fact, I might even do a show about that in the near future. And of course, thank you to my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound great. Now keep listening, because we have some great stuff coming up. And seeing as we're heading into holiday time 2020, and for most of us, that'll be spent at home, we're going to have some great ideas on gifts for your pooches and other pet lovers in the family. So keep listening, and thanks for listening to Best Bets for Pets.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.